Konnichiwa, and welcome to the Samurai Way, the podcast where we dive into the wisdom of the samurai, the art of Japanese living, and the philosophies that help us live with purpose and perseverance. I'm Lori Sagawa, and whether you're here to explore Bushido, the code of the samurai, uncover the meaning of Ikigai, or just looking for a little extra gambaru, never give up spirit in your daily life, you're in the right place. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's walk this path together. Are you ready? Let's begin. Konnichiwa, minasan. I'm Lori Sagawa, and welcome to the Samurai Way podcast. I'm so happy and thankful that you are here, that you took time out of your day to listen to it or watch it. So please grab a cup of tea and join us as we delve into more of the Samurai Way. And today we have a very special guest with us, and you will enjoy him, especially because he currently lives in Japan. Don't we all want to be there more often? His name is Jeff Singal. His short bio is he's a Japan-based midlife wisdom guide, combining his background in international education and life coaching, and the founder of the Jeff Singal Japan Shukatsu workshop. Originally from Boston, living in Japan for nearly 30 years, he bridges Eastern philosophy and Western reinvention, helping professionals 40 plus navigate life transitions through the lens of Shukatsu, Ikigai, Kizuki, and Woefulness. His work blends Japanese cultural insight with modern midlife clarity, guiding others to live with intention, purpose, and no regrets. So please help me welcome to this show, Jeff Singal. Welcome to the show, Jeff. So glad you're here.
Oh, thank you, Lori. And thank you so much for having me on. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Well, it's our pleasure. And Jeff, for those that don't know you, could you talk a little bit about your background and how you came to Japan and you're living there now and how that has shaped how you do coaching and your philosophy, and actually you and your marriage?
Sure. Well, to begin with, I guess I have to go back to when I was in this date me to junior high school in the early 80s. And at that time, Japan's economy was booming. And in the United States at that time, Japan was always in the news on TV, newspapers, magazine articles. And I guess I've always been curious, and I wondered why, of all the countries in the world, this one particular country was always in the news. And I was always, reading those newspaper articles and never imagining I'd wind up in Japan. And then jump ahead to 1988, and I had the good opportunity to come to Japan, take a semester off from my university. Came to Japan for the first time and spent most of the time in Kyoto, and
Perfect.
had wonderful homestays and just great memories, and got bitten by the Japan bug and kept coming back, and never imagining I'd actually live here and raise my family and be here for 30 years. So
Wow.
that's how I wound up here in Japan, more or less, the short story.
Mhm. And how has Japan, being a Westerner, especially
Mm.
from the US, the mindsets are totally different. Wouldn't you
Yes.
agree? The
Yeah, definitely.
Eastern and the Western. So how has living in Japan shaped your values, obviously your
Mm.
marriage and your philosophy?
Oh, great question. Um, well, I would say interestingly, even though I've been here close to 30 years, only recently, maybe within the past 3, 4 years, I'd never heard of Ikigai before I met Nick Kemp and started taking his certification course. And then after Ikigai, I stumbled across all these other wonderful uh, philosophies and concepts like rollfulness and Shukatsu and Ma. Yeah, just all of a sudden, after being here for nearly 25, 30 years, that all really, all those concepts really deeply influenced me, especially coming out of COVID.
Oh, yes.
COVID was a difficult,
Mhm.
well, it was a difficult, challenging time for the world, everybody.
Mhm.
And yeah, I had a lot going on during that period. And I think being in Japan really helped me get through that period. I often think about the Japan Jeff versus the Boston Jeff. If I had stayed in Boston, how different those two Jeffs would be. So I know I've changed a lot over those 30 years, and more so over the past 5 years, 6 years
Mhm.
since COVID started.
For our audience, because you were trained in a Nick camp, and we know that
Mhm.
we can both agree that Ikigai is not that Venn diagram that we hear about. So if
No.
you could briefly share about that and how it got you into Ikigai and Ma.
No, good question. Again, I'd have to go back to particular period between, say, 2020 and 2024, and maybe into a little bit of last year as well. Um, yeah, I had all these transitions going on. I was going through a midlife transition. Uh, my mother had passed away from 3-year battle with cancer.
Mm.
Um, what else was going on? Uh, there was a sudden financial matter that popped up out of nowhere, and just a lot of things I had to, and COVID, of course, I had to navigate my way through. And uh, yeah, it was my what I call my PhD period, piled higher and deeper. I just all these transitions just kept piling up, and I don't think I'm quite sure if I had been in Boston and all those things were going on, I I'm quite sure that the outcome would have been different. But
Mhm.
thanks to being in Japan for all these years, and discovering Ikigai, and then Ma and Shukatsu, not necessarily in that order, but yeah, it really helped me get through my transitions. And I want to point out too to your listeners, well, maybe they're thinking, well, he's in Japan, how's that going to help me here in the States? But these are all philosophies, concepts that you can practice and do anywhere. It doesn't
Mhm.
you don't have to be here in Japan. You could be anywhere in the world, and these ideas, these concepts will really help you navigate any sort of transition that you're going through.
Well, that's great to hear.
Mhm.
So, actually, the first thing we were going to talk about was Shukatsu and
Mhm.
clarity time, about time changes how we live. And I'd like you to
Mhm.
expound on that, and then we can go back to Ikigai and Ma.
Sure. Well, I'd like to just start off with a brief introduction to Shukatsu, because it even here in Japan, it's not an ancient philosophy. It's only maybe 15 years old, and it was started
Oh,
by some of the um, funeral companies and other end of life businesses
mm-hmm.
to help people better plan their end, I guess, for funerals, planning
Exit.
funerals. Yeah, your exit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but more recently, it's also become, and this is where what I'm interested in, a lens through seeing not dying, but how to live life
Yes.
at the moment, in the moment
Mm-hmm.
now. And even young people, 20 in their 20s and 30s, have started picking up this practice of shukatsu, which I have to also kind of warn listeners too. There's this shukatsu, and then there's also another shukatsu, which means it's part of the job search for younger
Mm-hmm.
people. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're searching for shukatsu, be careful and be aware of the difference. So I'm interested in, of course, the shukatsu that means living life now, so that when you're on your deathbed, you don't have any regrets.
Regrets,
Because
right.
unfortunately, a lot of people, that's if you there been research articles and books about by death doulas and people in hospice care who are with people who are dying, and a lot of them have regrets. And of course, at that point, it's too late to
Too
change those
late.
regrets. So that's why I think shukatsu is so important, just to enjoy life now and get the most out of it, so that when the end does come, you hopefully have little or no regrets.
In a way, is it like carpe diem?
Exactly. Yeah, I would say it's
Okay.
definitely like
Mhm.
carpe diem, and if I may too, just briefly, the reason I got into so interested in Shukatsu is because in 2017, my father passed away, and I was fortunate enough to be able to come back from Japan to be with him when he passed away. And then,
Mm-hmm.
of course, same thing happened with my mother in April of 2021 when she passed away with cancer from cancer. I was able to come back and be with her during her last week of life on her last journey. But that greatly influenced me
Mm-hmm.
and got me thinking about my end of life. Because unfortunately, at some point, all not to be doom and gloom here, but or to sound negative, but all of us are going to pass away at some point. So
Mm-hmm.
positive aspect of that is Shukatsu, living life now and trying to make the best of every day, or carpe diem.
That kind of goes along with Ikigai. If you find your
Mhm.
Ikigai, and it's not as I mentioned, it's not the Venn diagram. When a person finds
No,
their Ikigai, they live a life differently. And I'm sure
definitely.
you did too. So could you share with the listeners more about that?
Sure. Well, I again, thanks to Nick, I I found Ikigai, and yeah, that was a big game changer for me. I now when I wake up, I feel like I have more purpose. I mean, of course, I have two daughters. They're my main source of Ikigai every day, getting up and then seeing them off to school or spending time with them on the weekends. So they're
Mhm.
definitely a big source of Ikigai for me. Um, and then it could be as small as on Fridays, it's my coffee day. I only have coffee once a week in the mornings. I have my cup of coffee, so that's my other source of Ikigai. So you can have different sources of Ikigai. Going out for a walk. I love to be out in nature, ride
Mhm.
my bike out into the countryside. So whatever, find your interest. To your listeners, find your interests. Being with people, getting out in nature, just a cup of coffee, sitting out in the garden. It could be anything.
Okay,
Find
good.
your Ikigai and start from there. Just it's that's the great thing about Ikigai. You don't have to start big, which is I think what the Venn diagram kind of suggests. But the Japanese version of Ikigai is really small steps.
Yes. And
That's
it
important.
changes. It can change.
Yes. Yeah, it changes over time. You change,
Mhm.
your Ikigai will change too.
Like your daughters, when they were little toddlers, they're probably
Hmm.
much different than when they're teenagers, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, the oldest is
Mhm.
18, the youngest is 12. Sorry,
Mhm.
11.
11. Okay.
Yeah. So it's nice to spend time. And the youngest, both of them are wonderful, but the youngest one being 11, she keeps me more in touch with my childlike side, my
Mhm.
playful side.
Do they both like to travel? Like when you go to the States and
Oh yeah,
or
yeah.
Japan?
Well, we haven't because of COVID. We haven't. The four of us haven't been able to go to the States for a while, and my oldest daughter was busy with club activities. That's in Japan. Once they get into high school, they're pretty
Mhm.
much out of the house 7 days a week from early morning until late at night doing club. So, and even during summer vacation, she was busy with club. So the four of us couldn't go back to the Boston area, unfortunately.
Mm. But
But
maybe
maybe
around
this summer.
Japan. Maybe around Japan somewhere.
Yeah, sure. Sometimes there's an overnight trip to an onsen or
Mm.
another city.
I love Japan. I
I
just
love
love
Japan.
it.
I've been here as you mentioned about 30 years, and I've been lucky enough to have traveled from Hokkaido all the way through much of Honshu and all around Shikoku, Kyushu, Okinawa, so many
Wow,
places. It's a beautiful country. So if
it
your
is.
listeners are interested and if they've never been to Japan, I highly recommend coming to Japan. It's a
And
beautiful country.
especially this year. If it's on your bucket list, I just want to make
Yes.
that little
Yeah.
plug. Um, we have a complimentary ebook on Japan that you are welcome to go to my website, lauriewhaley.com, and download it for free. It gives you all the little basics for traveling to Japan because next year it's not going to be so friendly and things are going to go up higher. There's going to be more restrictions because people, unfortunately, foreigners have not been the most respectful people coming to Japan. So they want to make more Japan first and make the country so that it preserves its values and all the protocols that it has and the way that they live. Because I've seen too many foreigners, unfortunately, not really understand the Japanese way and the Japanese values and take it for granted, and like littering or talking on your cell phone when you're walking down the street or eating in this. That's just a no-no. You don't do that in Japan. You can do that if you're on the train, like the Shinkansen or the bullet
Hmm.
train, but not, or at a street fair that you can, that's permissible there. But most of the time
Hmm.
you do not eat in public. You don't talk on the cell phone in public, especially loud.
Hmm. Well, I think like any country, there's a certain, I think, basic level of research that people need to do before they travel and even try to learn. It doesn't have to be, obviously won't be fluent, but some basic expressions like
Yes.
arigato and sumimasen, those two will go a long way.
Yes, it will. I just love it. And also on that note, I'm going to be offering a tour to Japan. It's going to be in October,
Oh.
and we're going to the Jidai Matsuri. I've only been there twice, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like the thing to go to in
Yeah.
Japan. 2,000 people dressed in period attire. And the first time
Mm.
I went, I saw Tomoe Gozen, and I didn't know anything about her. I didn't
Oh.
even know there were female samurai or the onamushi onabusha.
Mm.
So we will see that, and you'll see. I'll be talking more about that, and it's going to be my email. So that's a little plug for the trip, and
Oh,
you
I
won't
didn't
want to.
realize you were doing a tour. Sign me up.
Okay, we meet in Kyoto, and we stay in a wonderful place that you
Oh,
get the
nice.
onsen in the morning and at night, and it's just the food is very good. It's more a little
Yeah.
more Japanese than I say than Western, but it's very good. So okay, we were on um, Ikigai and Ma. Well, actually, we were on Shukatsu. And do you want to know, did we finish up on that?
Oh, sorry.
End of life, end of
Maybe
life
not.
planning.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, about
Okay.
an end of life planning and but more so focused on living life now and carpe diem. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Carpe diem. I love that word.
me too.
Mhm. Would you like to go on to Ikigai and Ma?
Sure.
Okay.
And what would you like to know in particular about
It
Ikigai?
says once
I
we
think we were
clear
talking
what
about it.
no longer
Sorry.
fits, the next
Mm.
question becomes, what is worth waking up for? Next,
Mm.
that comes in.
Hmm. Yeah, well, as I had mentioned, my two daughters are my greatest source of Ikigai. Getting up in the morning and then um yeah, starting this or waking up in the morning and getting started on the workshop that I have planned for this coming October on Shukatsu and other, the other concepts that we mentioned, Kizuki and Ma and rollfulness, and that's my other source of big source of Ikigai. Getting up in the morning and planning that and trying to line up some wonderful guest speakers.
Hmm.
So that's my big source of Ikigai, as well as my two daughters. Gets me out of bed in the morning and jump starts my day.
That's good. That's good. And briefly, can you share about Ikigai, the non-Venn diagram way for our listeners?
Sure. Well, um, I think, I mean, at least for me, and I think not just for me, but other people too. It definitely gives you a sense of purpose, and I think in most people's lives, there's a lot of noise and clutter, and it's so hard to filter that out and start practicing Ikigai. But once you get going and you recognize the sound, the noise, and the clutter that comes into your life, it becomes easier to kind of separate that and focus more on the Ikigai, if that makes sense. Um, and yeah, for as I say, getting started, you could start journaling, just go out for a morning walk, a morning jog. For everybody, it's their sense of their purpose and Ikigai is different. So find what you're passionate about. I guess that's the key word. Find what you're passionate about and get out and start your day early in the morning. I usually wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning because the house is nice and quiet
Wow.
while everyone's sleeping. Um, so that's why it was easy to be on your podcast. We started at 4 in the morning here,
Oh,
but
wow.
I'm I'm an early bird. Everyone else is a late bird, night owl. Um, yeah, start small, practice, get out of the house, do some journaling, whatever you're interested in, and listen to Nick Kemp's podcast. He's got a lot of great podcasts to inspire you and help you get started in the Japanese authentic version of Ikigai and not the
Yes.
Venn diagram.
No.
Is that won't in the short term maybe that'll help, but in the long run, the long term, it's not the Venn diagram is not helpful at all for practicing Ikigai.
So it sounds like it's really helped you a lot.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean it's again I've only been practicing Ikigai for about 3 years, but it's made a huge impact on how I show up every day now. Not just for myself, but how I going touching on rollfulness, which is a book that Nick Kemp and Professor Daiki Kato wrote. I see my roles differently as a father, husband, brother, uh, maybe mentor. How I show up for all those different roles every day.
I just ordered that book. I listened to the podcast
Oh
and
yeah, it's an interesting book.
mhm.
So, and I'll be having lunch with Professor Daiki Kato today because he lives 10, 15 minutes away from me, and I didn't even know that until just recently.
Oh, that fortuitous, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So
Does he teach
sometimes it's a
in
small world.
Nagoya?
Uh, yeah, he teaches at a university not too far here, and I think there's a university in Gifu Prefecture, which is just
Mhm.
a short hop, skip, and a jump from here that
Mhm.
he teaches at.
We love Gifu. We weren't there very long, but
Oh, Gifu's nice too. I lived there
mhm.
for one summer
Oh, did you? Uh-huh.
many years ago. Yeah.
Speaking of Gifu, did you ever see the cormorant fishing?
No, no, I never got around to seeing that, unfortunately. I guess
Okay.
when you live in Japan, there's a lot of things you just don't do, I guess.
And they have so many activities and festivals and all the time, temple
Oh, Gifu's
lighting.
great. And
Mhm.
it's seasonal too. It's got great skiing in the winter and great outdoor activities in the summer, spring and fall, all the seasons. So I highly recommend Gifu. If you come visit Nagoya, it's very easy to get to Gifu.
Mm.
And there are a lot of great summer festivals too. In
Yeah, but
Gujo
isn't it
Hachiman,
a
they have
little
a
hot?
wonderful summer.
A little hot there?
A little. I hate the summer. That's why I go to Boston to escape the heat and humidity. So yeah,
That may be why
if you
you
like
didn't
heat and
go to see.
humidity, summer's a great time to visit. But
It's
if you're like myself, it's summer's my kryptonite. I don't enjoy it.
that's one thing that has we've never been there in the summer, but we were there one time in October and it was
Oh,
hot.
that's good, gorgeous. That's a nice season though. It's still hot,
It's still
but it's
hot,
not
yes.
as humid.
Not
The
like the
humidity
summer,
goes
no.
down,
Yes.
fortunately. Yeah, usually around the end of maybe beginning of October, the humidity starts to go down a bit.
Hmm. But it's still
Maybe
very,
it's
it can be very warm. And, we'd rather
toasty.
go there in the fall.
Yeah. Well, spring and fall,
Spring
those
is
are the
very
two
nice too. I
two
like
best
spring.
seasons. And
Mhm.
I think if I remember correctly, the in about 3 more weeks or so, 4 more weeks, the cherry blossoms are supposed to start coming out in this area.
Mm. Did they go south or did they travel north?
Oh, it starts from Okinawa and then it
Oh,
goes
okay.
up
So it goes north.
toward
Okay.
Hokkaido.
Hmm.
So probably Hokkaido, or northern Honshu, you can catch the cherry blossoms maybe uh, in April.
Okay.
maybe
I've only seen
early
it
May.
once. I've only been there once when the cherry just
Oh,
happened to hit it just perfect timing, and it
oh,
was
you were lucky.
gorgeous. Oh, so beautiful. It was,
Yeah, that's the best season because, of course, the cherry blossoms are out and the weather is nice, probably about
uh-huh.
20 degrees Celsius or so and 70 degrees Fahrenheit, a little higher, very low humidity. It's
Yes,
perfect.
I know. Now I know why the Japanese are so they go crazy over they have the Hanami parties and
Oh, yeah.
very,
Yeah.
viewing the cherry blossom and just watching them, especially when they start to fade and die, when you
Yeah.
see those petals on the water, it's just gorgeous. It's just, I love
Oh,
it.
it is
We
gorgeous
could talk
season.
about Japan forever, right? I
I could
hope
go on
that
all day.
people that listen to this podcast put it on your bucket list. You never know what's going to
Definitely.
happen. It's just really a great place to visit. You're safe. It's clean. Right
People are
now,
friendly and helpful.
yes. And right now the dollar is very strong, but who knows how long that's going to be.
Yeah. I think this is the best time this year, 2026, to come, as you said, put it on your bucket list and
Yep, come
fly
on
over to
over.
Japan.
I heard they had over 40 million visitors last year
Yeah,
to
it was a
Japan.
lot of visitors. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being here today with us, Jeff. It's been
No, thank you,
enlightening.
Lori, for inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome. You've added so much to the Samurai Way. And so, for all the listeners, if you have enjoyed this, please share, like, and subscribe. It really helps us to share more of the Samurai Way to other people, and people, like, a lot of people don't even know what some of these meanings are, but you learn today about Shukatsu and Ma. So there's so much that one can learn on the Samurai Way podcast, and it's all to help your life using ancient principles of the samurai in Japanese and some not so ancient, and bringing it into modern life. And so this is a good marriage of the East and the West and the old and the new. So there's something for everybody here. So thank you for being here. And thank you, Jeff, once again
Thank
for
you, Lori.
being the guest. I know it's been wonderful. I love doing these. I love doing the podcasts. They're so much fun. And thank you, everyone. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. Mata ne. And that's a wrap for today's episode, The Samurai Way. I hope you found a little inspiration, a new perspective, or just something to reflect upon as you go about your day. Now remember, the samurai spirit isn't just about history. It's about how you show up, face challenges, and live with purpose. Whether it's Ikigai guiding your path or a little extra gambaru pushing you forward, keep walking strong. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, share, or leave a review. It really helps. And if you've got some thoughts, questions, or you just want to connect, just contact me. So until next time, stay focused, stay determined, and keep living with purpose. Mata ne.